Powered by Riverside FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Jandler.
Welcome, Choey.
Welcome, everybody, to Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. This is one of our special summer episode editions. But as always, I still want to come here and say thank you for everyone that's listening. And we're going to still do some new stuff here and there. Just throwing in some special things along the way.
Here are today's effing holidays.
So let's go ahead and look at today's holidays. On June 21st, today is National Take Your Dog to Work Day. As you run out the door, don't forget your briefcase and your little doggy bag. So bring your pups with you to work. It's also on June 21st, National Peaches and Cream Day. This is the time of the year where we indulge in the traditional and delicious summertime dessert. So it's National Peaches and Cream Day, not to be confused with National Peaches and Herb Day. But if you feel like listening to them, go ahead. Still some good music. And then this last holiday of the day is something that actually bothered me last night. So I want to send a shout out. You know, today on June 21st is Shades for Migraine Day. Migraine was actually killing me last night. So please grab your boldest pair of sunglasses and show that you care about this worthy campaign for people that are afflicted with this. Hopefully you don't get migraines because they're not fun to deal with. And last thing I'll put here before we start the episode, the weather. So here in San Antonio, we have a high of 89 degrees today, but currently right now, our WTF weather app says that it's, when you look out at the clouds, you may imagine that you see squirrels. However, I see Mother Nature's henchmen, right? It's cloudy, it's humid, it's gonna feel a lot worse as the day goes on, but I mean, it's not, we've had worse days. So it's kind of 89 degrees is kind of a light June day for us. It's also, just so you know, it's basically the PG-13 version says it's friggin' cloudy and humid today. So maybe this is a good day to stay inside in Texas heat, or out of the Texas heat, and enjoy some good Choey and Jandler fun. All right, stay tuned to the new episodes.
All right, you got your, what's Chappin Joseph?
I do.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, so you take it away and I'll edit it and lead it in. All right, go, sir.
Dude, so straight up, I don't know if you guys have started yet and y'all's like testing window and stuff, but like we started this, well, I don't even know. I know they started, it was this week with Star Test.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not some anti-Star Test weirdo that's like, oh my god, the Star Test scars people and you shouldn't. But like, it's also not like the second coming of Jesus kind of thing either. Everybody like gets their panties in a bunch, and they were doing it, and I was helping out this week with testing, and they're just like, well, what do we do about this? What do we do about that? And it's like, why do we have to give you like use your brain, man? Like the kid's computer turned off. Get them on another one, log him back in. Okay, I just want to make sure we can do that. I mean, like, thanks for letting us know, just in case. But it's like everything, dude. Like,
well, you know why they do that, though, right? Because it's like everything. They're worried about making a violation, and
Yeah, but it's like everything. Like, for the restroom, is it still like only one kid at a time can go in the restroom? Yeah, probably so. Oh, and I want to be like, dude, it's been like that since it was like TOS test. I'm sure it was like that for tax. It's like that for STAR. Like certain stuff just is not changing. It doesn't. It's not gonna be. Why am I gonna freak out?
One of my teacher friends, first grade, she's got I know she's not happy. They're gonna help her test. Or she's gonna have to do like a testing small group, And so I talked to her a couple days. I was talking to her today, and she's worried about it. And I was like, all you gotta do is remember. I was like, here's the best line you need to remember. I can't help you with that. Use what you've learned. Try your best, right? I was like, that's the one phrase you're gonna repeat so much. But if you do that, you're good. And she's like, well, how do I get them started with this? I was like, read the book. It's gonna tell you what to do.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the thing.
It's just gonna tell you. I was like, I get you're stressed out, but I was like, you got this. I was like, you're a smart person. You can figure it out. I was like, you know, like I said, I just remember that phrase because that phrase was brilliant for me. You know, I'm sorry I can't help you with that. You know, try your best to use your strategies. You know, use what we've learned.
But my thing is, like, it's so simple. Like, the hardest part for me for testing has always just been, like, the waiting. It's not the passing out the stuff. It's not the collecting the stuff. It's just waiting there, waiting for them to get done. But everyone's like, oh my God. And you're like, dude, like, you're going to have a heart attack right now, freaking out about testing. I'm like, calm.
Yeah. Chill out.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna cause me to panic because you're panicking, and I'm gonna be like, they're freaking out. I should be panicking. I should be freaking out, shouldn't I? I guess I should. Like, let's all freak out. And it just kills me. Like,
I used to like when the district would show our training videos, and there was like, they're so cheesy, because they get like teachers acting in them, like real teachers. Just be hilarious. Like, you know, they tell you like, don't talk about what's on the test, and they showed a video of like 2 people are like in the teacher's lounge, and they're talking about, hey, did you see this? They're like they're discussing like a math question, and they got this other teacher like over on another table, just kind of like, you know, because she overhears them that they're like talking about it. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, I actually, I think a lot of it's my military stuff, but some of these things to me are just, I feel like are common sense, because like, they're like, okay, don't talk about it. So I don't even try and look at the test question, you know. Unless the kid needed me to like read the math question, I don't even like walk around and go like, oh, what's that question? Oh, what's that question? I'm just like, the only time I know what's going on is if I had to read it to some student, and then in my head as they're doing something, I can be like, yeah, they know what they're doing, or they don't know what they're doing. They're out of luck there, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. You know, I can't do anything about it.
And that's the thing is, like, especially now with everything being online, you don't have to count out a lot of paper materials and stuff. Everything's pretty much just like, does the kid get headphones to test, or do they not? And that's it.
I think last year, like the network went down for the district, and it's like, oh, that sucks, you know.
Well, but even with that, that does suck, because like that's a lot of like extra crap to do with. But even with that, it's like, I mean, they can still log out. Like, that's the most amazing, crazy login system ever, because it's like the kid will get kicked out, and then come back and log back in, and they're gonna go again. I'm like, all right, all good.
Yeah. So like, I know the same thing. We used to have to monitor the bathroom breaks and stuff, but now we're good. Turn it over to you.
So, I realize usually whenever I do these segments and stuff like that, it's usually like something that's bothering me. But I figured we'd switch it up a little bit and go with something that makes me a little excited. And I figured like you get a little insight into my soul, and it's whenever you have like a kid. Whenever I was like an administrator on campus, and you have a kid that's made a mistake and they get sent to the office, and they legitimately need to be there. And I love just making like that comment of, all right, man, and you have the heart to heart, and you have the connection with the kid, and it's good. And they feel like, you know, sweet. And you can kind of see like the relief in their face. And then you say, hey, so we're going to have to do a consequence, man. And then we tell them the consequence, and they're cool with it. And then I'm going to tell your parents. And you can just watch the lights get sucked out of them. And it just kind of make me, that was always like one of those,
That was your happy feelings? You're like,
yeah, it's like,
oh, I got a one fuzzy.
It's like,
like, gotcha.
Well, yeah, like watching them because they're like, oh, okay. Oh. I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm not your friend. I'm like, we're not here to be friends. I'm not here to be your buddy. I'm the Grim Reaper, man.
You turn the chair around backwards and sit on with the hat, you know.
Kids would
chop it up.
Kids would every once in a while be like, the ones that would like normally be like, yeah, man, you're kind of mean, like every once in a while. And I'm like, You know what makes me happy is to eat like feeding on the souls of children, like eating their happiness. That's what makes me happy. And that's what I got for that.
I swear, and this is just me. I hate repeating myself, but I know I do it a lot. Because I think because you and I we talk so much, and even though we're writing this stuff down, at least I am. I don't remember everything I said, but you remind me of. I think I talked about it last in season 1, but kids will do stuff, and you contact their parents, and parents are like, "Well, that's not my kid," and I want to sarcastically be like, "You know what? You're right. I got nothing better to do than just make up about your kid. You know, like just tell a lie. And like, who's more likely to be lying, me or the kid trying to stay out of trouble? You know?
I mean, there were so many just times like especially like with the kids like I do with him. It's parents are like, well, you know, I mean, I don't know what to do with it. You know, they're at school. It's kind of like whatever they do. And I said, oh, okay, well, that's good. They are suspended though, so they're your problem for the next couple of days. And parents would be like, well, I can't do that. I got to work. And I'm like, well, that's fine. But if they show up, they're trespassing, and they will get taken to jail. So,
Like, ready to teach them to work with you. You know?
yeah, and I'm like,
be your shadow.
Like I would always tell the kids too. Like I wanted to tell some of the parents, but I'd show them my badge and be like, "You see what that says?"
Hey, since Choey was positive today. Standing ovation. Standing ovation. You ready for your
Fun
what's
stuff.
Chappin?
I am. It's not super crazy. It's just, it is what it is.
Take us there, sir.
So, I don't know how you do it at work, and this isn't like like trying to be offensive to anybody I work with, but there's just certain times, man, like you kind of like I think you and I talked about before, like you're cool with being like alone, not like a life kind of thing, but you can go to the movies on your own if you want to. You can go grab a bite to eat and chill. Not like
Yeah.
it's some 5-star restaurant where you're like having like steak and wine kind of crap, but like you can go grab a burger at McDonald's, sitting there and playing your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing, and like I find myself sometimes struggling, like if I'm there and chilling and I'm good, like I don't need you necessarily to, oh, like poor guy, look at him, he's just by himself. Let's include him in the conversation. I don't need that. Like if I want to be part of the conversation, I'll try to help, like kind of interject myself a little bit in there, and like I'll work my way in the conversation. Or if I'm trying to if I'm like, hey, I feel like talking, like I'll do something to kind of work in some kind of way, some conversation. But I can receive it. Like if you sit there and you kind of say stuff, if I say, you know, yeah, okay, and you're slightly dismissive, okay, we good. Not a talking time right now, you know. But there are certain times like where I just like in my life, like I sit there and I'm like, people are like, oh, well, come here, and I'm like, no, nothing's wrong. I still want to be talked to.
Did that happen at work or something recently?
No, I was just thinking about it, like
Oh, you just okay.
over the course of like, because I went and grabbed a bite to eat at lunch, and it kind of popped in my head, and I was like, you know what, like some people like, oh, you know, it's lonely doing that. Well, sometimes it is. Like, and if you're, I wish I had somebody to hang out with. Yeah, you got. Most of the time, it's like, if I'm on my own, it's by design.
Yeah.
If I'm quiet, it's not because I'm trying to be weird and quiet and reserved, like mysterious. It's because I don't want to talk to you.
Well,
You
I
don't
know
talk to me.
that. I think I've mentioned this to you before. What by the way, this is a thought I had. I don't think I shared it with anybody. I just kind of had, a lot of stuff. I had conversations in my own brain, but I was just like, how we have like AD and BC, it's like when we do like time, like in the timeline and stuff, history. I feel like you have your post-COVID is like a time frame because like everything pre-COVID was one way, and then post-COVID, a lot of stuff's changed, right? That first year after COVID, when we were I call it half and half because some kids were at home.
Yeah.
I got used to eating lunch just in my room, right? And so I just kind of kept that going. And like it's stuff. I'll get my food. I go to my room and I watch YouTube, and it's just like, I don't really like socialize in the teachers lounge, but a lot of people kind of do that. I think some of the older grades, they go down to the lounge, but a lot of us younger ones, we're kind of on our own. Some may be down there, but a lot of like, some of us are just in our room. Some people do. Now, I'm not like some. Some are hard chargers. They're like doing work while they eat lunch. I'm like, I'm going to enjoy these, 20 minutes or so that I get to rest. But I mean, it's like, not kind of get you. It's like, I don't mind being on my own and being like, I'm going to take care of this. And I don't mean anything by it, people. I just, I want to do this right now,
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm not trying to be ugly. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to get away from it. It's just like, I'm good by myself right now. Like, I can just chill. We're good. And we're good.
And you're like, I'm thinking about it. And yeah, we're good.
Like,
Did I tell you,
we're good.
This will be a good way to end this so you can laugh at me, right? When I was still in the Navy and I transferred from Hawaii to Illinois, right? That movie, Troy was out. Remember that had just come out? Remember the Brad Pitt movie? About so I wanted to see it, and I went to got tickets to go to the early showing because I was all by myself because I didn't even know anybody there yet, right? And I think the movie started for like an hour or something. Like it was like my first 2 weeks there, and actually my first weekend there, and I was just staying on base in like their little hotel. So you get a little stir crazy. You want to get out anyway. And so I get the tickets to the movie theater, and I'm just like, well, it's not going to start for about an hour. So there across the street was a restaurant. So I go to the restaurant, and I was like, hey, table for one. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, it's just me. And they're like, can we do that? Did I ever let me do that? And they sat me down, and the waitress, she didn't really leave. She kind of just stood by there, like she put my food down, my drinks, she kind of just stand off to the side. So I just kind of started talking to her, but I guess everybody felt bad for me because it was a Sunday and I was all by myself, and I was just like, they're like, what are you doing here on your own? And I was like, well, I'm hungry and I'm gonna go watch a movie. And they're like, by yourself? And I was like, I don't know anybody, I don't see the problem here. But
I don't have any friends here. Yeah. You start crying, like a little teardrop. They're all, aw.
All right, and like I said, I started to read it and I was like, wait a minute, I got to be surprised. So
it's not like super crazy, but it's just like, it's like subtle jabs. And so you came up with the idea, and so I acquiesced to your request and generated myself a little bit of a slightly sarcastic in the spirit of the fact that we have high school graduations going on. So I have a graduation speech for everybody. So here it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, esteemed faculty, parents, and those of you already planning the class reunion. It's an honor to stand before you today as we celebrate the achievements of these fine individuals who have successfully navigated the maze that is high school. Truly, this is a day that will be remembered, mostly by the credit card companies eagerly awaiting your future spending. Graduates, look at you. Today, you join the ranks of the illustrious alumni who've gone on to change the world, or at least their Instagram bios to high school graduate. You've worked hard, persevered through countless sleepless nights, pop quizzes, and that one teacher who definitely had it out for you. Yet here you are, defying the odds. Or in some cases, defying the grading curve. Well done. As you sit here in your caps and gowns, consider this moment a rite of passage, a transformation from teenagers to young adults who will soon realize that waking up before noon was actually a luxury. Yes, the real world is out there waiting for you, and it's excited. Probably more excited than you are. Out there you'll discover new things: rent, taxes, the joy of waking up for 8 a.m. college classes, and the deep, unrelenting love for weekends. Let's take a moment to thank those who helped you get out here, or helped you get here. To your teachers, who shared their wisdom, their knowledge, and their PowerPoint presentations that were always at least 72 slides too long. To your families, who supported you, sometimes financially, always emotionally, and never stopped wondering if you were going to finish that term paper. Mom and Dad, you can breathe now. To your friends who stood there by your side through thick and thin, except when you ghosted them for fortnight. And to the coffee, for those who couldn't have done it without you, you are the true MVP. As you leave here today, remember, it's okay not to have everything figured out. After all, the only people who have life completely figured out are given those TED Talks. And they only have to sound smart for about 18 minutes. Life is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes you'll find yourself Googling how to adult in the middle of the night. And that's perfectly fine. You're now armed with a diploma, a sense of accomplishment, and perhaps a minor existential crisis. But don't worry, you got this. In the words of a wise philosopher, probably a commencement speaker like myself, don't panic. Or maybe that was Douglas Adams. Either way, good advice. Finally, as you step into the world, do so with courage, curiosity, and a healthy dose of sarcasm. Question everything, especially the fine print. Don't be afraid to fail. It's just a stepping stone for success, or to success, or at least a funny story to tell at parties. And always remember that you are capable of more than you think, especially when deadlines are involved. So here to you, the class of 2024. May your Wi-Fi be strong, your coffee be stronger, and may you always find a parking spot. Congratulations, now go out there and make us proud. Or at least prove that this wasn't a colossal waste of time.
Catch me off guard.
So, yeah, caught me off guard, that's for sure. So, last week of school, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then, so there's nobody at work right now. Like, teachers are even done. Like, teachers' last day was Monday. It's like, right now is just like, it's your skeleton crew, like your office administrative assistants, central office administrators, and campus administrators. So there's nobody there. And I didn't think I would get boned with any of this stuff, like, because I'm like, there's nobody there. Like, there's nobody there. So like, there's like, if you do something that's jacked up at work, like they like somebody's gonna figure out probably it's you. And so I go to use the restroom this morning, and I lift up the toilet seat because I'm trying to be good because I'm the only dude in the whole damn building. So I pick up the toilet seat to take a piss, and at first I didn't recognize it. And then it took me 3 seconds to see what it was, and I was like, "Is that? There's no way." And so I pee, and the whole time I'm peeing, I'm like looking at it, like, I think it is. Somebody had pooped in the toilet, and they pooped far enough up in the toilet to where when they flushed, it didn't go down.
And they just
so then they just covered. Yeah, so it's there, but here's the thing. They covered it up with toilet paper, so it was like a turd pig in a blanket just sitting in the toilet, like looking at me. And then when I flushed it, it just kind of like a stream of like water, like little like stream, like was pushing it off, so you could see it like slowly eroding, but it just sat there the whole time. And so I was like, dude, like, who are you that you come into work when nobody's there and you take a dump so far up on the toilet seat that you don't even crap in the damn water, like so the poop just sits.
That was bad aim. That happened when I worked at Walmart. That would happen.
Well, dude, so I sat there and I wrote out like a whole screen, like, I mean, I had some caps, like some like all this stuff, and I had the whole screen was full like a text, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna tell them tonight in the story, so you can get more of an authentic. Because I was like, dude, I don't want to sit there. And I was pissed because I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I had so many responses when he just said. By the way, that last video, like, I'm pissed. And I was about to be like, remember Men in Tights? If you're already pissed off, then pissed on, you know?
I mean, can you? And it's not even like it's like in the middle of the day, like you had a meal. Like it's 8:30, so like you waited to do this at work instead of doing that at home.
Right.
It's always like,
one of our first things, you're like, is that what I think it is? I was thinking like Caddyshack when you're like, Baby Ruth? And you're just like, is that a candy bar now? They're like, you stared at it.
Because I did. Because I walked in and I'm like, because like the toilets are like, they're not like the round ones. They're like the big long oval ones.
Yeah.
So I'm like, looking because it's like right there next to me, like waving at me, like he was tucked into bed with its little blanket of toilet paper, like it was all.
I liked how you say like it was just looking at me. It's like I can imagine you're trying to you're taking your leak and you're trying to kind of really probably like looking at the sky in a lot of ways. You're like, can I look out? Can I get this out of my view? But I can't. Right
Yeah,
there.
because it's like it's just. I mean, it was so like imagine you go and then it's just like it. The perfect analogy would be if this turd was a woman getting its hair done and it's getting its hair shampooed. It was just enough to where it was in the water with its blanket over it. Like, and I was like, this is, and I was just like, I wanted to just like be like, that's it. Just walk out of thing and be like, who?
People are like, Choey and Jandler hit a new low with this, this like with poop humor. But nah, man, I can imagine. And also, but no, that last thing you said when you said you had like this big long text, right?
Yeah.
Now I guess you're talking about you were gonna text me about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, right before that clicked in my brain, I was like, I figured you had like this big long message you're about to just email out to everybody, and just like going off with the staff, and then you second guess it. I'm like, oh, I know I get what you're saying, because like, you know. Then also another thing I thought of it, like the skeleton crew's in there, so now Choey can kind of be like Sherlock Holmes and be like,
Well, there was
here. So you're like.
There was only like 5 people in the room in the building besides me, so I'm like, it's one of y'all 5. Like, and now I'm like,
is that more narrowed down than what you had before?
Yeah, it's about half the people. Like, because normally there's like the SLPs and LSSP people, like the speech people, and like the psychologist people that do all the testing for SPED testing. So most of them weren't in today. So I'm like, there's certain people that aren't here, and I kind of just was like, dude, like first off, just god dang, man. Like, because I get like, you know, body happens. Like I've had to go like where I can't hold it and get home and do it. So I'm there at work and I drop it somewhere once in a while. But this is like I went to pee at like 8:20. So like you purposely were like, oh, let's go to work and take a dump. Like, yeah, god dang, man.
Or at the very least, flush it down.
Yeah, figure out a way, because I mean, and that's the thing is like.
They'll just leave it there.
Music, roast, gun, bait, cheers, made and cheers, made again, or simply cheers. Sometimes it's all sante, other times it's cheers and you fapping hoes. Or we also say salt, they salute, time, gay, skull. Now in Vietnam we can say yo. That's how Choey and Jandler cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world. Different languages, same sentiment, raising our glasses to friendship and joy. Cheers, cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world.
All right, hey, this last segment here, right? It'll be short and sweet. I was telling you on the phone, right? Originally, you have your Chappin with Choey, right? What's Chappin, Choey? Yeah. And I was just kind of came up one day with I was like the wine and cheese corner, and I was thinking about it for me, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Choey's thing. Not to make it sound like you like have like attitude problem or whatever. But I was like, that's Choey's thing. So then today it just hit me. I was like, the wine and cheese corner, whenever I bring it up, is going to be about stuff kids whine about, right? And so today, we had early release day, right? So, you know, it's basically 7:30 to 11:30, right? We go to get food at 10:30. One of my second graders sees pre-K outside at recess, and he's like, why do they get to go outside? And I was like, do you want to go back to pre-K? You know? I was like, dude, you know, and we had just, like, played quizzes and a Bookit game on computer, like, practicing some math. So it's not like we were just writing with pencils and stuff, right? I was like, we were doing some fun activities, and then we were on our way to go back eat the classroom and watch a little bit of a movie as we're eating, and he's whining about recess. And I was just like, can I get you some cheese with that wine, you know?
Should be like, you don't get any yard time today, buddy. No yard time for you.
It's prison. prison talk, right? So we're gonna add some nice classical music to the background there for Whine and Cheese Corner, you know.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Does that
I
remind
like
you of
that.
anything? Do your kids do that at home to you, or do you put a stop to it?
Oh no, they still whine. They still throw fits about like it's not fair. This one gets that, and I'm like, dude, you're 17 and you drive. Like, you're worried about the 11-year-old got like an extra cookie. Like, really?
I get that just kind of reminds me. I get annoyed when kids are like, so and so's doing this, right? So and so's on this website. I'm just like, who are you worried about, right? Like I was telling that kid today when he was talking about the pre-K, I was like, who are you worried about, man? It's like that's them. Worry about you. You know? I just get tired of hearing like they just whine
Technically,
about
Mr. Big, he is worried about him. He's like, why do they get that? And I don't.
No. Well, he needs to focus on what he should be doing. How about it that way?
Be like, they also crap their pants and eat their boogers. You want to go do that? You do that right now. I'll let you go out with them.
I wish I'd have remembered that when I would have been a good little, because I was a little annoyed with him. It would have been a good one, yeah, if I just said that. But they also eat their boogers too.
That might land you a little stern talking there, sir, from your
hot water.
supervisor.
Yeah, exactly. So. All right, I'm gonna jump into my wine and cheese corner, sir. Okay. Yeah, I may move my other segment to the next episode. All right, so I started the wine and cheese corner to kind of highlight how my students like to whine and complain about stuff. So this is something I picked because it kind of incites maybe some sarcastic remarks for myself, but it also creates some eye rolling in my own brain. But I had this question. Actually, it was this week and it was last week. Like anytime it rains, right? A student will be like, "How come there's recess inside?" And I'll be like, "What do you mean besides the thunderstorm or the monsoon that's going on outside?" I was like, "Is that why you're curious? Why we're not going out in the mud and rolling around, dude?" So I'm laughing. A couple of years, actually more than a couple of years ago. It's my second year at the school. We had got done saying like blacktop only, stay off the grass. There's mud, whatever, right? There's a fire hydrant area near one part of the playground, and it's like a drainage ditch or something, right? I can't remember if it was a girl or boy, but they slipped and slid their entire back, from their head all the way to their feet, right? Covered in just a huge streak of mud that like at least 2 feet wide, right? And it's just like, oh man, it's like if only you had listened to us when we said stay away from the mud, you know. That's what it is. What it is. Yeah.
I'm glad I never got in trouble for it. But like when kids would, like when I was doing PE, and it would be raining and stuff like that, they'd be like, "Oh, we wanted to go outside today and do this," and I'm like, well, "I can't. Like the only game we can go outside and do right now is if we'll hand out these big long metal poles and we'll run around and see who wins."
Yeah.
And that's all I would say. Like you could see like which ones were the smart ones, so every once in a while you get a kid going. Because someone would be like, "Yeah, that's cool," and I'm like, "No, we're not doing that." And like some kid would be like, "Well, what happens if lightning hits us?" And I'm like, "Exactly. That's why it's not a good game to do. We can't do it right now. So we gotta stay inside." But the rest of them would be like, "What?"
We had teachers versus students today, and I probably ended up going from plan A all the way to like plan C or whatever, right? But it ended up doing we had a paper snowball fight in the classroom, and the whole time I'm scared, right? Because it's like again, it's 2024, it's paper, but you never know what can happen and who can get mad, right? But I'm just like, don't get hurt, nobody get messed up, right? But I also did something where I did it with a team actually earlier in the day I let everybody get a paper ball and shoot from a certain spot in the classroom, like basketball in the trash can, right? And then only one kid made it or whatever. So then I versed him, and we both were bad. And So then at the end of the day, I did it again, and all the kids that wanted to do teachers versus students that did like paid our star points. I gave them each a paper. They crumpled it up, and they shot from a certain spot. And like there were 12 kids that participated, and so we did it twice. The first time they made 3 shots, right? So I was like, okay, if I make 4, I grabbed 12 paper balls. Like if I make 4, I win, and y'all do 5 push-ups. If I don't make 4 out of these 12, you win, and I do 5 push-ups. I made 4. Like I made 4 to like 8 or something, right? I didn't even get close to 12. And then we did it again, and they made 4 shots, so I had to make 5. Actually, first they made 4, and I had to make 5 to win, right? So I had made 4. I still had 2 shots left, right? No, and I was 2 shots up, and I was 1 down. And then 2 kids that weren't there, they were doing something else for like they had some other event. They came back in, and I let them each play 1 shot because they had participated in it. They paid for it, right? And the last kid made it. So I was like, well, now I had 2 balls, right? And I had to make 1 shot to tie and 1 shot to win, right? This is like it's like one of those clutch things, right? So I made the first one, tied it, and then I was like, I told everybody, like, okay, just want to remind y'all, if I miss this shot, we all do push-ups. If I make it, you do push-ups. And dude, it was a trash can, but I would have switched it. Like I was just like, it was like a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant shot, and I was like, push-ups now. So
you're all my.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all...
Take that. It's one of the, you shoot it and you cock your hand like that and you just hold the pose. And I'm like, yeah, I win. So.
They go to like shoot it, and you know you're gonna lose, and you like slap it, and you're all not in the house of Matumbo.
Yeah, they wanted to do. I got no problem doing musical chairs, but they want to do musical chairs, and I'm like, we got to move stuff around before we do musical chairs because, like I said, I don't know what it is, and I think you and I have talked about this on the phone and stuff. If not, I know I've thought about it a lot in my brain. And I think a lot of people older than us have to be thinking similar things for us when we were younger. But, man, these kids are fragile. Like, it doesn't take much to hurt somebody, you know?
That'll just cry.
Somebody got hit in a basketball with their leg. I think I told you this a couple weeks ago. And they're like, I got to go to the nurse. And they're like, I can't walk. And I was like, from what? Because I actually saw it happen. And they're like, the basketball hit me in the leg. And I was like, stand up, man. I was like, walk it off. You're fine, you know? But
you're like, people are watching you. You're pathetic.
This is exactly so. All right, and as always here on Choey and Jandler, we want to give a social media plug shout out. So please continue to follow us at Choey and Jan, CHOEY, the letter N, JAN, on Facebook, X, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, MySpace. Also, just kind of put a little shout out there. Discovered something. There's an AI TikTok challenge going on, so don't be surprised if you see a lot more little posts here and there every few days with digital shorts and anything that we think is kind of funny that we've crafted, put together with some AI. So again, look for that on our social medias. That'll be a lot on TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. So other than that, as always, want to say peace to everybody, and Choey and I will definitely be still doing some live stuff here. Because I got a little birthday gift for him that I want to make sure I do on a Joking with Jan's episode. So until then, everybody, peace. And